Welcome back to GraveyardDance.com. I took a week or two off recently and have been extremely busy with my day job as well as other projects I have going. I usually try to keep at least 3 months worth of videos made up in advance, but with everything that's going on, I managed to run out. Today, I decided to try something completely new. Instead of telling true-life horror stories, I've managed to put together a small collection of scary, yet entertaining stories for our younger viewers. They are works of fiction, but I'd really be curious if anyone likes this kind of content. Should I do more fiction, or what other kinds of stories would you like to hear in the future? Anywho, on to today's stories. I really hope you like them. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Please consider subscribing and checking out the rest of our work over at GraveyardDance.com. The Haunted Ride. Once upon a time in the small town of Willow Creek, there lived a teenager named Alex who had just turned 16. Like any other teenager, Alex was eager to experience the freedom that comes with owning his first car. After months of saving up his allowance and working odd jobs around the neighborhood, Alex finally had enough money to buy a used car. One sunny Saturday morning, Alex stumbled upon an old car dealership at the edge of town. Among the shiny new cars on display, there sat a dusty, neglected vintage car that seemed to call out to him. The dealer informed Alex that the car was once owned by a sweet old lady named Mrs. Jenkins who had passed away recently. Intrigued by the history of the car and feeling a strange connection to it, Alex decided to purchase it despite its worn-out appearance. As soon as Alex drove the car off the lot, strange things began happening. The radio would turn on by itself, playing old jazz tunes that Mrs. Jenkins used to love. The scent of lavender perfume would waft through the air even though Alex had never used such a fragrance in the car. Doors would open and slam shut on their own, and sometimes when Alex looked in the rearview mirror, he could swear he saw an ethereal figure sitting in the back seat. Determined to uncover the truth behind these eerie occurrences, Alex delved into Mrs. Jenkins' past. He visited her old house and spoke to neighbors who shared stories about her kindness and love for her vintage car. Through his investigation, Alex learned that Mrs. Jenkins had always dreamt of taking one last road trip before she passed away but never got the chance. Realizing that Mrs. Jenkins' spirit was lingering in the car because her final wish remained unfulfilled, Alex made a bold decision. One of his neighbors had mentioned that she had always wanted to visit the ocean to see the sunset. So Alex decided to drive up to the coast playing all of her old favorite songs and spend some time on the beach. On a moonlit night under a sky full of twinkling stars, Alex had spent the afternoon swimming and spending some time with some new friends he had made that day when they happened to invite him over to a campfire for a late-night bonfire and soft drinks. As he started to get tired, he knew he had to head home and get ready for school the next day, so he grabbed his towel and started up the hill to his car. You can imagine his amazement when he saw the ghostly figure of an old lady standing by his car smiling back at him, only to vanish slowly under the full moon. As he walked slowly to the car, he peeked in the windows to see if anyone was there. There didn't seem to be. As his radio turned on, it wasn't the jazz classics that he had it set to. It was the current top 40 pop rock that he liked. Was she finally at peace? Did she pass over after all? Through their shared adventures, Alex and Mrs. Jenkins forged a bond that transcended life and death. Together, they proved that true friendship knows no boundaries, not even those between this world and the next. And so ends our tale of The Haunted Ride, where a teenager's first car became not just a mode of transportation but a vessel for healing old wounds and discovering the power of compassion. The Witch of Whispering Woods. In the quiet town of Evergreen, nestled amidst towering pines and winding streams, there lived a boy named Jake. With a heart heavy with loneliness and eyes clouded by tears, Jake walked the path of isolation, shunned by his peers for being different. Deep within the heart of the Whispering Woods, where sunlight danced through the leaves and shadows whispered secrets, Jake stumbled upon a hidden glade. There, he encountered a figure cloaked in mystery, a witch with eyes as bright as emeralds and a smile as warm as the sun. Moved by Jake's sorrow, the witch extended her hand in friendship, offering him solace amidst the solitude of the woods. With a gentle laugh and a twinkle in her eye, she promised to help him find the courage to face his fears and stand tall against the bullies who plagued him. Guided by the witch's wisdom and the light of friendship, Jake embarked on a journey into the heart of the Whispering Woods. Along the way, he encountered creatures of myth and magic, each offering their own unique gifts to aid him on his quest. As Jake delved deeper into the woods, he encountered a band of misfits who, like him, had been ostracized by their peers. United by their shared struggles, they formed a bond forged in the fires of adversity, their friendship a beacon of hope in the darkness. Armed with the witch's guidance and the strength of his friends, Jake returned to Evergreen to confront the bullies who had tormented him for so long. With courage in his heart and magic at his fingertips, he stood tall against the shadows that once threatened to consume him. As the final showdown ensued, Jake and his friends faced off against the bullies in a clash of wills and magic. With the witch's help, they summoned the courage to stand up for themselves and reclaim their rightful place in the world. In the aftermath of the battle, Jake realized that true strength lay not in power or revenge, but in the bonds of friendship and the light of compassion. With the witch's guidance, he learned to forgive those who had wronged him and embrace the magic of kindness. With the bullies defeated and peace restored to Evergreen, Jake and his friends looked to the future with hope and optimism. Though scars may linger, they knew that together, they could overcome any challenge that came their way, guided by the wisdom of the witch and the power of friendship. As the years passed, the tale of Jake and the Witch of Whispering Woods became a cherished legend in Evergreen, passed down from generation to generation as a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the magic that lies within us all. And though time may fade and memories may dim, the bond between Jake and the witch would forever endure, woven into the very fabric of the woods themselves. The Tale of the Cursed Thief. In the heart of the vast and ancient Navajo reservation, nestled amidst towering red cliffs and sweeping mesas, stood a small Indian store. Its weathered walls held stories of generations past, while its shelves displayed treasures both old and new. But on a fateful night, a shadow crept through the moonlit desert, its intentions dark and ominous. Lurking in the shadows was Lila, a young woman with a troubled past and a desperate need for riches. Her eyes gleamed with greed as she surveyed the store, plotting her next move. With practiced stealth, she slipped inside, her heart pounding with the thrill of the illicit deed she was about to commit. Silent as a whisper, Lila moved through the aisles, her fingers grazing over trinkets and treasures. But it was the gleam of silver and turquoise that caught her eye, a necklace adorned with the symbols of the Navajo gods. Without hesitation, she snatched it from its display, a triumphant smirk curling on her lips. But as she made her escape, a voice echoed in the stillness of the night, a voice ancient and powerful, filled with a warning that sent shivers down her spine. Ignoring the warning, Lila fled into the darkness, her heart pounding with adrenaline and fear. Days turned into weeks, and Lila reveled in her newfound wealth, her conscience dulled by the allure of riches. But beneath the surface, a darkness grew, a darkness that threatened to consume her soul. One stormy night, as lightning danced across the sky and thunder rumbled in the distance, Lila found herself drawn back to the reservation, haunted by memories of the cursed necklace she had stolen. Determined to rid herself of its influence, she ventured into the heart of the desert, the winds howling around her like vengeful spirits. At the center of a forgotten clearing, she found the Whispering Willow, a towering tree, its branches twisted and gnarled, its leaves shimmering with an otherworldly light. Trembling with fear and desperation, Lila approached the tree, the cursed necklace clutched in her trembling hands. With a cry of anguish, she flung the necklace into the darkness, a burst of energy pulsing through the air as it collided with the ancient roots of the Whispering Willow. In that moment, a deafening roar filled the air, the ground trembling beneath her feet as a curse was unleashed, a curse that would change her life forever. As the curse took hold, Lila's body contorted and twisted, her skin merging with the bark of the Whispering Willow. In agony, she cried out, her voice lost amidst the rustling of leaves and the whispering of the wind. Days turned into weeks, and Lila became one with the tree, her consciousness merging with the ancient spirit that dwelled within its depths. Through the passing of seasons and the ebb and flow of time, she watched as life unfolded around her. The laughter of children, the songs of birds, the dance of sunlight on the desert sands. But amidst the beauty of the world, Lila remained trapped, her spirit bound to the whispering willow for all eternity. And as the years passed, her story became legend, a cautionary tale whispered by the elders of the Navajo tribe, a reminder of the consequences of greed and betrayal. And so, the whispering willow stood silent and solemn, its branches reaching towards the heavens, its roots anchored deep within the earth. A guardian of secrets, a keeper of souls, forever haunted by the echoes of a woman who dared to defy the gods. The Crow and the Scarecrow. In the heart of the Midwest, where the sun sets early and the nights grow long, lies a spooky old cornfield. This wasn't your ordinary cornfield. It was known among local teenagers as Crow's Field, a place where legends spoke of crows that were bigger and more menacing than any other. One autumn evening, as darkness enveloped the field, two unlikely characters came to life. The first was a scarecrow named Scruffy, who had stood guard over the cornfield for years. He was made of worn-out clothes and old straw, his face etched with lines from countless sunny days. But as the seasons changed, so did Scruffy's patience. Tired of being a constant target for the local crows, who saw him as an easy perch for their nightly roosting, Scruffy decided he had had enough. "I won't take this anymore," he declared to himself. As the moon rose high in the sky, Scruffy hatched a plan. He fashioned makeshift slingshots from cornstalks and ripe ears of corn. With a mischievous glint in his button eyes, he waited. Suddenly, a large black crow swooped down towards him. Scruffy tensed and launched his first projectile. The crow let out an angry squawk as it narrowly missed its mark. The crow retaliated by flying towards Scruffy with a piece of corn in its beak. Scruffy ducked just in time, but not before getting hit with a handful of dirt thrown by another crow. This escalated into an all-out war between Scruffy and the crows. They pelted each other with corn kernels and dirt until their supplies ran out. Exhausted and covered in dirt, both sides called a truce. "Why are we fighting?" asked Scruffy. The oldest crow replied thoughtfully, "We were just playing our part in nature's cycle. You scare away pests that might damage our crops while we help control insect populations." Scruffy nodded in understanding. "But maybe we can find a better solution," he suggested. And so began an unlikely friendship between Scruffy and the crows. Together they devised ways to protect the crops without resorting to their childish pranks. From then on, Crow's Field became less spooky and more harmonious, proof that even adversaries can become friends when they put their minds to it. The dream of the spooky town. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between misty mountains and dark forests, there lived a teenage girl named Skylar. Skylar was an adventurous soul who loved exploring the unknown and seeking out mysteries. One fateful night, after a long day of school and chores, Skylar fell into a deep slumber. As she drifted off to sleep, her dreams took her to a place unlike any other she had seen before. She found herself standing at the entrance of a town shrouded in darkness, with eerie shadows dancing along the cobblestone streets. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an otherworldly glow over the buildings that loomed like twisted giants. Curiosity piqued, Skylar ventured further into the town, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. As she walked past abandoned houses with shattered windows and overgrown gardens, she noticed figures moving in the shadows, ghosts whispering secrets, ghouls lurking in alleyways, witches brewing potions under flickering street lamps, and monsters prowling in the distance. Despite the chilling atmosphere, Skylar felt drawn to this mysterious place. She wandered through narrow alleys and winding streets, each corner revealing new horrors and wonders. The air was thick with magic and mystery, sending shivers down her spine. Suddenly, a voice called out to her from the darkness. It was a ghostly figure cloaked in tattered robes, its eyes gleaming with an ethereal light. "Welcome to our town," it whispered, its voice echoing like distant thunder. "Only those brave enough to face their fears may walk these streets." Skylar's heart raced as she realized that this spooky town was not just a figment of her imagination. It was real. With a jolt, she woke up in her own bed, drenched in sweat and trembling. Looking out of her window, she saw familiar landmarks bathed in the light of dawn. As reality sank in, Skylar couldn't shake off the feeling that her dream had been more than just a trick of her mind. She knew now that her hometown held secrets far darker than she had ever imagined. Days turned into nights as Skylar grappled with the realization that her quaint little town harbored a hidden world of ghosts, ghouls, witches, and monsters that only revealed themselves under the cover of darkness. Every creaking floorboard and rustling leaf seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Haunted by her dream turned reality, Skylar embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind the spooky town that lurked beneath the surface of her everyday life. Armed with courage and curiosity, she delved into forgotten archives and sought out whispers from old-timers who spoke of legends long forgotten. With each revelation came new dangers and challenges as Skylar navigated through shadowy alleys and spectral haunts. She encountered spirits trapped between worlds, witches seeking redemption for past sins, ghouls yearning for connection beyond the grave, and monsters driven by primal instincts. Through it all, Skylar discovered that the spooky town was not just a place of fear and darkness, but also one of resilience and hope. Beneath its haunted facade lay stories of love lost and found, friendships forged in adversity, and sacrifices made for the greater good. As she unraveled the mysteries of her hometown's supernatural underbelly, Skylar realized that she too was part of this tapestry of souls bound together by fate. The line between dreams and reality blurred as she embraced her role as both witness and guardian of this hidden world. In time, word spread throughout the town of a brave young girl who dared to confront the shadows that dwelled within their midst. Skylar became known as the Dreamwalker, a bridge between two worlds who brought light to where there was once only darkness. Though whispers still echoed through cobblestone streets and eerie laughter lingered in abandoned houses, there was now a sense of peace among the inhabitants of the spooky town. Ghosts found solace in sharing their stories with the living. Ghouls danced under starlit skies. Witches brewed potions not out of malice but out of healing. Monsters stood guard against true threats rather than causing harm. And so it came to be that Skylar's dream had not been a curse but a gift. A chance to see beyond what lay on the surface and embrace all aspects of existence. The spooky town remained hidden from prying eyes but open to those who dared to look beyond fear and see with their hearts. The Haunting of Blackwood. Hey fellow adventurers, it's old Hank here, your resident ghost enthusiast and amateur sleuth. Today, I've got a bone-chilling tale to share that will send shivers down your spine. Grab your flashlights and gather round, because we're diving headfirst into the mysterious happenings of Blackwood. It all started on a foggy evening when the moon hung low in the sky like a ghostly lantern. Blackwood, a sleepy town nestled between mist-covered hills, was no stranger to strange occurrences. But nothing could prepare the townsfolk for what was about to unfold. Rumor had it that the old mansion on the outskirts of town, once home to the enigmatic Dr. Nathaniel Wood, was haunted by the ghost of its former owner. Dr. Wood, a renowned scientist with a penchant for the occult, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances decades ago, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and whispered tales of the supernatural. Naturally, being the intrepid explorers that we are, my friends and I couldn't resist the temptation to investigate. Armed with nothing but our wits and a few hastily assembled ghost-hunting gadgets, we set out into the night, determined to uncover the truth behind the legends of Blackwood. As we approached the looming silhouette of the mansion, a chill wind whispered through the trees, sending leaves dancing in its wake. The air was thick with anticipation, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. Creeping through the overgrown garden, we reached the front door, which creaked ominously on its hinges as if warning us to turn back. But we pressed on, hearts pounding with equal parts fear and excitement. Inside, the mansion was shrouded in darkness, broken only by the faint glow of our flashlights. Every creak of the floorboards echoed like a thunderclap in the silence, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, causing us to jump out of our skins. We followed the sound to a dusty old study, where we found a hidden passageway concealed behind a bookcase. With trembling hands, We pushed aside the heavy tome that served as the secret lever and descended into the depths below. What we found there would change our lives forever. The walls of the hidden chamber were lined with arcane symbols and strange contraptions, evidence of Dr. Wood's experiments in the dark arts. But the most chilling discovery of all was yet to come. In the center of the chamber stood a spectral figure, its form flickering like a candle in the wind. It was Dr. Wood's ghost, bound to the mortal realm by unfinished business and a thirst for vengeance. As the ghostly apparition turned its hollow gaze upon us, I felt a chill unlike anything I had ever experienced. But instead of lashing out in anger, the ghost spoke in a voice that was as cold as ice yet filled with sorrow. It told us of the events that had led to its untimely demise, of betrayal and treachery that had robbed it of its rightful place among the living. And it begged for our help in unraveling the mystery that had bound it to this earthly plane. With newfound determination, we pledged to aid the spirit of Dr. Wood in its quest for justice. Armed with knowledge gleaned from dusty tomes and ancient texts, we embarked on a journey that would take us to the very heart of darkness itself. But as we delved deeper into the secrets of Blackwood, we soon realized that there were forces at work far more sinister than we had ever imagined. Shadows lurked around every corner, and whispers followed us wherever we went. In the end, it would take all of our courage and cunning to uncover the truth behind the haunting of Blackwood and put an end to the darkness that threatened to consume us all. So, fellow adventurers, heed my warning and tread carefully in the shadows of the unknown. For you never know what mysteries lie waiting to be discovered, or what terrors lurk just beyond the edge of sight. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. Yours in adventure, Hank. Well, folks, that's all we have this week. Be sure to let me know what you think. Our other work can all be found at graveyarddance.com. Not all of that is kid-friendly, though. Some of it is true crime. Some of it is true dark history that's really happened, and some of it is ghostly related of places or things that have been haunted or cursed. There's even a few UFO and alien abduction stories on there. Well, on to my next project for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Again, graveyarddance.com. Like, share, and subscribe.